So I think it's been almost a year since I posted our before video of our house for my extreme home decluttering, which sounded like I was gonna really go for it, and I was. It's amazing how many things come up, especially during a pandemic, so I'm trying to cut myself a little bit of slack here, but I do sometimes feel like I am a complete failure at minimalism and decluttering. I don't know how to update you about my decluttering when I feel like it's been going so badly. I'm on a journey towards minimalism, and sometimes I wonder if I am just a complete failure and if I'm never gonna get there. Now, of course, there isn't a real definition of minimalism. Every time, guys, every time. But I still feel like I'm definitely not to where I want to be, and I definitely cannot yet call myself a minimalist. What I want to do today is go ahead and just share with you where I'm at. One of the methods of decluttering your house or being on a journey toward minimalism is to peel the layers of the onion, where you just kind of do a little bit at a time, do a little bit more, go through quickly and, get the obvious stuff and then go through and do a little bit of the more challenging stuff. I was thinking that I would actually go room by room to do my decluttering, but even that hasn't gone super well. But let me show you why. You will see some differences. I'll post some side-by-sides in this video. You will see some differences in our house since I started this journey. There's been a lot going on. We are in the middle of a DIY home reno. Parts of it are finished. A lot of it is like 80 to 95% finished, which is sort of our trademark. We dove into an outdoor landscaping project, not because we desperately needed new landscaping. Actually, our yard was really pretty, but because we have some drainage issues, and the grading around two sides of our house was basically the opposite. It was more like a bowl instead of a hill away from your house, so it was funneling the water in. So I'll show you some of the updates of what we've been working on, and that will help explain just why my decluttering process is so darn slow. So let me show you what we've got. Let's go outside. So here's our front yard, and one of the main things we're doing out here is adding drainage. And so we actually put a dry well in the front yard, which is why I now have no grass and a giant mud pit on half my lawn. And then on the north side of the house here, there was a perfectly good sidewalk that unfortunately we had to rip out because the people that put it in did not think to grade it slightly away from the house. And we also wanted to move the downspouts into the drainage system. So this all had to get torn up. Alrighty, so you come in the front door. Now this area used to be bad, right? This is a little better. Those are my husband's giant boots. We talked about our checklists. I'm liking that system. I've added a basket here for my husband's shoes because he does tend to just leave them on the rug, and he has giant shoes and I feel like I'm gonna trip and die on them. So I generally toss them in there. It would be nice if he did, but that's not really his style. This is our front hall closet. We're gonna have a video on that very soon. It's not jam-packed, which is nice. And then let's look. It seems like there are always things in this area. These are Osage oranges, a towel to wipe our dog's feet. I've got my fall boots that didn't fit in my shoe bin, some steps or a plant stand that I'm getting rid of. This is our soccer bin, and this was a brilliant idea. So our kids are doing after-school sports for the first time, and we have soccer twice a week now. So am I a soccer mom? I don't even know the rules of soccer, so I don't feel like I'm a soccer mom. But here we've got things that they need for their soccer practices. So it's all in one bin. And what I like about that is I even put their soccer socks in there, so we're not running around when it's time to go looking for things like their socks. The socks are in there. They're special socks for that anyway. So their socks, their cleats, their ball, their snacks. It's all there. We've got the drop zone here, which we'll talk more about in my entryway video coming up. And then I've been working really hard on keeping this area not quite so junky, but it's still pretty bad. This is not completely full, which is nice. Some stuff I'm getting rid of, plastic bags for getting rid of stuff in. And then here I've got masks. So when our kids wear their reusable, slightly reusable, but disposable masks to school, if it is not wet and relatively clean, you can reuse it if you just put it in a paper bag, or I put mine in a cardboard box. I figure that's about the same. Adult masks, kid masks up the wazoo. I've added this here. It's not my favorite to have a big bin of workout stuff just sort of spilling out of this, but I wanted the stuff to be really accessible. My husband and I are trying to get in shape, so we have to make it as easy as possible. Now let's look at my living room and dining room. So for a little while, we actually had these shelves in the living room. This isn't where they were supposed to be, but it was part of the messy middle that we're in. So now those are gone, and part of the living room looks better, and then part of it looks so much worse because our kids got old enough that we split them up into their own rooms. So now this is the toy room over here. Here's the dining room, and I think it looks much better than it used to. I do still have a few things on the table, and that's because I've been working in here as my office. I do need to figure out a quick way to store this when I'm not working. But otherwise, I think the dining room is pretty good, and it's definitely better than it used to be. We used to have piles of stuff on the floor. I got through those piles. Some of those piles had been there forever. If you missed my before video of the dining room, I will post it above and below in the description. Now let's look at the kitchen. I would say not that much has changed here. All right, and I just want to interject here. I told you in my previous video that we actually post our family's body safety rules. And look, here they are right on the fridge, as well as pictures of our dog when she was a little puppy and she won a contest with this winter photo one. I am trying to keep the counters as clear as possible, and I've recently been working really hard on just creating the daily habit of having the kitchen be completely clean at least once a day so that the dishes are done and the counters are wiped. And I know that I'm never days and days behind on these sorts of things. That is especially challenging with all of the projects we have going on, but it has been totally worth it for the sanity it has given me. When I come down in the morning and I feel like I can make coffee and make breakfast and get the kids to school without working on top of piles of dirty stuff. Of course, the kitchen cart is still piled with stuff. That is always a challenge. I think that is the curse of horizontal spaces. So I generally avoid adding horizontal spaces to our house now. Here's our mudroom. I showed that we built this instead of what was here before, which was this desk with open cupboards, and that always felt really messy to me. Of course, some people might be able to maintain that in a different way than we could, but I like that we now have some spaces we can close here. Then this is our powder room. It actually looks worse than before, but that is because we've been redoing the upstairs bathroom, and it's almost finished, but all of our day-to-day stuff had to move down to this one for the time being. Now down the basement, we've got some really big changes. As we come into the basement, you see our gorgeous new bathroom. I guess it's a year old by now, but we finished this during COVID. I know this rug looks ugly and dirty, but I keep bleaching it and trying to make it white, but we've been landscaping, and so it just kept getting muddy because the kids kept coming down here to wash their muddy feet. So this is our new bathroom in the basement. I'm really thrilled with how it all turned out. We've got hooks over here for the kids' towels. We've got 2 towel bars for the adults' towels. I would not, however, buy cream towels if I knew we were going to be doing landscaping as our next major project, because I got these and then we started landscaping and now they are stained with mud. So these are clean towels, only clearly not. It makes it look like we are dirty, nasty people, which is not actually the look I was going for. All right, so this is our new laundry room. I love the changes here. So we have a new ceiling, we have brighter lights, we've made a built-in folding table for clothes that was never there before. We got a new floor, we've got storage built into the wall, and it's still a little cluttered. That's because we're still working on some things. In this cupboard under the stairs, we call this our Harry Potter cupboard, we had to pull some things out so that we could get to the gas line that runs through there. So I can put that stuff back in now. And I haven't decluttered this closet at all, really. I've got way too much backup food, but you know, some of that's from when COVID started. So we just need to start eating some things. Now, this is the main room of our basement. It looked like a disaster before. It looks like a disaster again now. Somehow in the middle, we actually had a period of respite where we used it for distance learning and it was set up really nicely. But now we were doing construction with that gas line because we're doing stuff in the backyard and had to move all of our storage stuff into this, which is sort of our family room and my husband's office. So now stuff is just piled up again. But this is about to go back into the storage spaces, and then we can really attack this space, which I'm excited about. We have lots of ideas. I don't think we're going to do them all right now because it's just too many projects all at once, but I definitely want to make that fireplace not pink. And then we come into my office, which was going to be my husband's office, but he's actually working from home full time now, so it's going to be mine because he needs to be near a window. I don't just want him living all his days in the dark part of the basement. And then here's the storage room. So a lot of that stuff in the other room will come back into here, but you can see we needed to get to the gas lines in here, so stuff had to move out. Then we've got this other extra smaller storage room, and stuff can move back in here as well, which is great. I'm going to take you upstairs now. You can see before I had some of my filming stuff here. Now we've got construction stuff for the new bathroom and our daughter's closet window. But this is an exciting part, very exciting. For the last year, we've been working on this bathroom. So here's what it looked like before. This was all original 1929, except there used to be a pedestal sink, but then that broke. So this was a temporary sink. Now here's what it looks like. Oh wait, there's a handprint on the wall. That cannot possibly be my handprint. Oh my gosh, it fits. No way. Okay, I'll get that later. Anyway, here is our new bathroom. It is gorgeous. I love it. I tried to go with a timeless look. I went with bright paint. The blue I absolutely love. It's by our front door as well, but I can change it if we get sick of that color. Everything else is pretty neutral. We even put in a new window. We completely tiled the shower area. And I've still got some paint in here. The toilet paper looks like a mouse got into it, but it was our daughter looking for crafting supplies. And we stripped down the radiator and painted it a metallic color. So everything in there is basically new and works, which is so exciting. Now we'll go down the hall, which is still a mess. I would really like the hall to have absolutely nothing in it. That is a goal. We're just not there yet. Here's our linen cupboard. It needs organizing. The bottom of it was holding a bunch of construction stuff, so like our extra tiles and things were actually in here, which is not where they're going to live permanently. But the nice thing is that means I have that whole space to organize into as I get around to managing our linens and decluttering that stuff. We also painted this whole area white and added new handles out here. So now we'll head into our daughter's room. This used to be a playroom, but we have split the kids up now, and this is her room. It does look messy. That is actually not her fault. All of her clothes are in her room right now instead of in her closet because we are working in the closet on putting in a new window and we haven't finished it. So she can't put these clothes away until we get that all sanded and stop making dust in there. The radiator turned out beautifully. I painted it this bronze color, and then I painted her little book hanger thing here to match, which I just love that it kind of pulls the room together. So she's got purple and gray and this bronze color as sort of a theme. Of course, I got a lot of these items from Buy Nothing, like the book hanger and the curtains and the bedding. And so here's her beautiful bedroom. This is actually my bedroom set. My parents saved it and they've been storing it for all of these years, and now she can use it. So here's what the closet looks like. Yikes. So we just need to finish putting up the drywall around her new window and then mudding it. Lots of sanding, lots of dust. That's why we've emptied it out. And then we'll paint and go back in there. Okay, so this is our bedroom, and I love how it turned out. We did a little redo on it when we bought the house. It is not super cluttered, but right now does have some extra stuff in it because of the other closet being under construction. So those piles there are memory bins that are supposed to be in our daughter's closet. So it's not dramatically different from before my decluttering, but it tends to stay a pretty calm space, and I really like that. We've just got a couple baskets of laundry there to fold. And then in my closet, it's a little hard to tell maybe on video, but my clothes have a lot more space. There is a lot less hanging up than there was before. I'm being very careful to put away my seasonal items that are not for the current season so that I can really see what I have. And I'm trying to be careful as I switch from season to season to go ahead and get rid of anything that I haven't been wearing. All right, let's head into our son's room. Oops, I need to make the bed. So this was a bedroom for both of our kids before. Now it's just for our son. We put a queen bed in here, which I actually thought was a brilliant idea that my husband had, so that if we have guests, we can just put him like on the floor of our room or on the floor of his sister's room, and the guests can have an actual room of their own since we don't have a separate guest room, which is fine with me, but it's nice to have that as an option. And then here's his closet, and it's got some of his sister's clothes in because, of course, she can't use her closet. I know this video was sort of a whirlwind of everything going on in my crazy life and my crazy house, but that is also kind of how things are going for us right now. We have had lots of changes that were necessary because of COVID. We're even using some of the spaces in our house differently. We didn't plan for COVID, but we're rolling with it, and also trying to understand that that is going to affect things like trying to declutter our entire house. I'm still aiming to be a minimalist in my own way, but I'm also being forced, because of COVID and other things that have come up in life, to recognize that it's not always going to go the way that I planned or the way that I hoped or the way that it seems to go for other people. I'm not other people, I'm me. And I think one thing that I am doing well is recognizing that this is my journey, it is my own journey. It's okay if it takes a really long time. I'm still making progress toward being a minimalist and living my best life. I didn't plan for COVID. I definitely didn't plan for distance learning. Now we're distance learning again. You can hear kids in the background, yes, because we're home. And so things are on pause, and I've got jury duty coming up next week, and I have no idea how many days that will take. I hope you can see from this video that decluttering when you have a family and children is hard, but it is doable. And the important thing is to just keep making progress, even if it's little tiny bits of progress at a time, because it's still moving you in the right direction toward your goal. Good luck. Until next time, you've got this, guys.